For the longest time, we've thought about automation as this robot that just follows a super strict set of rules. Think of a factory arm doing the exact same thing over and over. But what if that robot could start thinking for itself? What if it could start making its own moves? Well, that's the giant leap we're talking about today, moving from simple follow-the-rules automation to truly autonomous AI agents. So what does this new world actually look like? Let's dive in.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll quickly touch on the automation we all know and love. Then we'll meet the new kid on the block, the AI agent. After that, we'll see how these agents are already changing the game, peek under the hood at how they're built, and then we'll look at what's coming next.
So to really appreciate just how much of a game changer AI agents are, we've got to start with the old way of doing things. And that means talking about traditional robotic process automation, or RPA. For years, this has been the workhorse of the corporate world.
Think of RPA like a hyper-efficient assembly line worker. It is absolutely brilliant at doing one specific, unchanging task. It follows pre-programmed rules to the letter. But, and this is a big but, it needs perfectly structured data. The second anything changes, like a button moves an inch on a website, the whole thing just, breaks. It's powerful, for sure, but man, is it brittle.
And this is where the difference becomes, well, just staggering. Take a look at these numbers. RPA, it chokes on unstructured data, only getting it right about 30 to 40% of the time. Agents, we're talking 95% plus. And setup time, it drops from months down to just a couple of weeks. Oh, and maintenance, it's 1/10 of the work. Seriously, this isn't just a small step up. It's a totally different ballgame.
That massive performance gap leads us right to the star of our show, the AI agent. So, what exactly is this thing, and what makes it so different?
Okay, so here's the formal definition. But the keywords you really need to remember are perceive, reason, and execute. See, an agent doesn't just follow a script. It can actually perceive its digital world, reason about what it's seeing, and then, all on its own, formulate a plan to get something done. It's the difference between being given turn-by-turn directions versus just being told, hey, get me to the airport.
And this quote it nails it. The AI we're used to waits for us to tell it what to do one prompt at a time. An AI agent, though, you give it a goal, point Z, and it figures out all the steps to get there from point A all by itself. It's a proactive partner, not just a reactive tool.
All right, enough with the theory. What does this look like in practice? Let's get into the real-world impact, because this autonomy is delivering some jaw-dropping results.
So, here's the bottom line. Businesses are already seeing incredible returns. We're talking 3 times better ROI, 90% less time spent on maintenance, and setup that's 10 times faster. These are the kinds of numbers that make executives sit up and pay attention.
Let's take a super common business task, processing invoices. The old RPA way could crank through maybe 500 an hour, but it was so rigid. If a new invoice format came in, the whole thing would just crash. Now, the AI agent, it actually understands the context of an invoice. It can process 5,000 an hour. And, get this, it automatically adapts when it sees a new format. That's a revolution for any accounting department.
And we're not just talking about simple tasks here. In the world of high finance, a human analyst could spend a full 8-hour day drafting a detailed investment memo. An AI agent can now pull all that data together and spit out a solid first draft in 15 minutes. And that's what's so important here. It changes the job. It elevates that analyst from a report builder into a real strategist. Or think about the legal department, which, let's be honest, can be a major bottleneck. Reviewing contracts by hand is slow, and it's easy for a human to miss something. An AI agent, though, you feed it the company's legal playbook, and it can review and redline a contract in minutes. It ensures everything is consistent and flags risks that a tired human might just glance over.
Now, this all sounds pretty incredible, almost like magic, but it's not. So how are these agents actually built? Let's peel back the curtain a bit and look at the tech and, some of the real-world trade-offs.
Okay, so for an agent to jump between different apps, it needs secure permission. It's usually handled through a standard process where you, the user, grant it specific limited access. It's kind of like giving it a digital valet key. It can only do the specific tasks you've approved and nothing more.
But look, having secure access is only part of the puzzle. Which brings us to a really important question. What good is a brilliant agent if it's painfully slow?
And this is a very real problem. I love this quote from a developer on Reddit who's right in the trenches with this stuff. Latency, That lag time before you get a response is a huge hurdle. Every time the agent has to think by calling a big language model, it adds time. So the real battle developers are fighting right now is balancing intelligence with speed. Making agents that are not just smart but also fast is the next great challenge.
So, knowing the incredible power, but also some of the challenges, what's the road ahead look like? Let's wrap this up with how you can make the right choice for your own work.
Here's a pretty simple way to think about it. If your process is totally locked in, never changes, and only uses clean, structured data, and you're okay with the maintenance costs, then yeah, traditional RPA might still work. But if your processes evolve, if you're dealing with messy, real-world data, and you need something that can scale and adapt with you, then AI agents are without a doubt the way to go.
And believe me, this shift is happening fast. Just look at this prediction from Gartner for one area alone, customer support. By 2029, which is not that far away, they expect 80% of all support issues to be handled by Agentic AI, with no human in the loop. This isn't some niche tech anymore. It's on its way to becoming a core part of how business gets done.
So, this really isn't science fiction anymore. AI agents are a new kind of digital workforce, one that can reason, plan, and act all on its own. They're here, and the only real question left is, how are you going to collaborate with them?